Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, the show for visionary coaches, healers, wellness pros, and small business owners who aren't just here to host another feel-good getaway, but to build a profitable, impactful retreat business. I'm your host, Shannon Jamail, retreat strategist, business mentor, and owner of a 46-acre retreat center. I've hosted over 100 retreats around the world, and I've made every mistake so you don't have to. Each week, we'll dive into the mindset, marketing, money, business, and mechanics behind sold-out, profitable retreats. Plus, hear from expert guests who are walking the talk. Whether you're planning your first retreat or scaling your 100th, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. I am back in the Austin studio and I am so excited to have a special guest today that we've actually talked quite a few times over the last 6 months maybe. So welcome Shari Leid to the show.
Thank you. This is great to be in Austin. This is my second time in Austin.
I love it. Yes. So you were just at a speakers convention and I snagged her for an extra day to come down to the studio and record. And before we do anything, why don't you just start off by telling everyone a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm an attorney by training. Then I stayed home for years with my kids, started writing. Wrote my first book, which now is coming. My fifth book will be in February.
Nice.
From that, I started contributing to media. Then came the speaking, and now adding in retreats.
I love it. And that's obviously how we met, was through the Retreat channel. And one of the things that really stood out to me is Shari is obviously an incredibly intelligent, skilled, successful entrepreneur. Like I can tell that by talking to you. I can tell that by your history. I can tell that by what you've already accomplished and what you're doing. And yet the first thing Shari did when she wanted to go into retreats was say, who can I learn from? That's huge. Do you know how big that is? I mean, because I still find a lot of entrepreneurs, especially, and a lot of it is because we're driven by our ego. It's like, oh, no, I can do this shit myself. But that was so, I was just blown away by your vulnerability, your ability to say, you know what, there's other people who have done this. Let me talk to them. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Yes, that is how I found you, because I found you before I knew that you had the retreat ranch or anything else that you're involved in, because I decided, okay, this makes sense for my business. If anyone is familiar with the speaking business, it can be an up and down business as far as you're constantly pitching.
Yes.
You're getting referrals, but you may not know when your lean months are versus your flush months. So I'm a entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur, and I want to have a little bit more steadiness in my life. Mm-hmm. And I learned that, okay, one way I can do this is through a membership program, through, for coaching and through retreats, and to get in touch with people better. And retreats made sense with my personality.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I could do this. So I started down that path. I was saying before we came on, if I have an idea, I'm going to start ugly and hopefully make it pretty as I go along, because it's a lot easier to make ugly pretty than perfect better. So like everything else, start a little ugly. But in that ugly, I'm finding a venue, figuring out what my schedule will be, fearful that no one's going to show up and I'm not going to pay the cost. I thought, I need help, because I know what it's like from going into the speaking world, going into the writing world, what it's like to spend a lot of money that I don't need to spend simply because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's where I found you. And I think I found you right at the time where I thought, how do I get people to my retreat? What am I doing?
Yes, I do. I remember that because you contacted the office, and I remember Lily telling me, you've got to check out Shari, because I don't really do coaching. I don't do one-on-one coaching. I will do a one-off type of thing, but I don't regularly make that a practice. But she's like, I really feel like she is not begging, but you're like, look.
She could say begging.
Here's where I'm at. And you're like, and I really want to get this right. And I think that just really resonated with me. So we did a one-time coaching session, which was amazing. And I had so much fun learning about you and your business and putting together a plan. And that first retreat did well.
Yes, it did well. And I contacted you pretty close to the retreat time at that point.
You did, yeah.
I mean, I feel there are at least 3 points of contact that I've made with you as I've grown in this area.
Yes. Yeah. And then, great. You did great on your first retreat, and now you knew that this was something that you wanted to add to your business, which I do want to touch on that real quick before we go on to the next time that we saw each other, which you said, my speaking business, up and down, it's got fluctuations. All business does. So that's normal, right? But I love that you said, what other legs can I add? Same type of topic, your same expertise, you're who you are, you've got your just expertise, if you will. And you're like, how can I take this expertise, who I am, what I know, and who I work with, and add extra legs? And I love that you added the membership.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
Huge, y'all. Membership, reoccurring revenue, which my friend Erin B. Haig will just love that. And she just loves hearing that. And that's just a big deal. And then in-person experiences. You literally added 2 things to your business that are the future of business, especially if you're in any type of coaching industry. Membership, reoccurring revenue, and in-person experiences, especially in-person experiences. As we're being pushed into this digital world, this AI, digital footprint, people are craving in-person experiences on any and every fucking topic you can think of. And so you added the 2 most amazing, truly successful legs, if you will, to your business.
It makes so much sense for speakers. And quite honestly, I don't know why more speakers don't do this, or anyone in this type of business where you have an expertise. And I have a framework that I use. I'm still teaching the same framework at my retreats and building my retreats around this framework. I'm able to go at it at a different angle, and it enriches my speaking. It all flows together. I actually recently was interviewed for a print article about a portfolio career, which is a career that many speakers have, but also the younger generation. Now that there are different revenues options or avenues, to have these portfolio careers where we take our expertise, we put it in different areas, we package it differently, but still the same framework. And we're able to touch lives and enhance our business in all these different magical ways. So yes, it makes so much sense. It's helped my speaking too.
Well, and that's the thing. It's cyclical, is that the right word? Whatever it is, they feed each other, right? So let's say someone hires you for a speaking event, and then they find out you do retreats, and now they want to take a small group to your retreat. Or someone joins your membership and then finds out you do in-person experiences too. Or maybe you'll do one-off coaching with them too. Like, it all feeds each other, and it builds off of what you said is your main framework. It's your main expertise. So don't misconstrue this for me to say, well, if you are a coach on wealth, that you should do retreats for crafting. No. If you're a coach on wealth, you do retreats and in-person experiences to take that wealth topic deeper or more individualized, or whatever, you decide that your retreat is going to allow, right? Depending on how many days you do it, your workshops, your speakers, all your things. And so you take that expertise and you grow more legs. And specifically, membership, recurring revenue, and in-person experiences are the 2 most powerful ways you can grow your business right now. Regardless if you're a speaker or a coach or an online influencer, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever it is your expertise is, those are really two amazing legs. Okay, so you had your first retreat. It was well. You knew that this is what you wanted to do, and then we contacted each other, or you contacted me again, and you came to the forum in Denver, which was amazing. Talk to us about that.
Yes. So my next step was the forum, and that was. I'm trying to remember because I'm going to do my second retreat. So obviously, before my second retreat, I'm right in the planning stages right now of that. I learned so much at that forum, and what was great about it is I realized how many people are in the retreat business at different levels, doing so many different types of retreats. There's not a cookie cutter. And working with you and the other experts that were involved in that forum, you realize that all of you do things very differently as well.
We do.
And to gain the knowledge and decide, okay, that works for me, I'm going to set that one aside. This one I'm going to pick up. It was brilliant.
Oh, thank you for saying that. And I also love that you did point out between the 3 of us that were the main co-hosts, and then we had some experts that we hired to come in to speak to areas that we felt they were better versed in. We all 3 do things so differently. Our businesses look very different. And yet we all have our level of success based on our personality. And so, Shari, you're so right. Just because Allison sends an email every day to her database and I send 1 or 2 a week doesn't make one right or wrong. It just fits our model, right? And that's just a small little example of like some of the ways that we approached business differently. There's lots of little ones. And so that's why that whole like, if you don't do it my way, you're not going to succeed is bullshit. It's bullshit. You have to find someone, whether it's a coach or a mentor or whatever, that resonates with you and take the best from that person and leave the rest, whatever doesn't resonate. Doesn't mean you have to do things exactly like someone else. You really do take what works and resonates for you in particular, and your lifestyle and your season and all the things.
And you attract the people who are attracted to the way you do it. I learned that when I started coaching or speaking, and I hired a coach, and she's brilliant on stage. Yet when I was working with her as a new speaker, I was trying to do what she was doing. I couldn't sell it because it felt gimmicky to me. It didn't seem gimmicky to her because it matched her personality. I now have an incredible coach. We have the same personality. We have the same type of humor. The way we work together and the way we talk makes sense for us to, me to get advice from him. Because we match in personality type. So yes, getting into this retreat business also, what I've realized just in the short time I've been here, and I believe you also said this to me. I had another mentor that said something to the effect of, Shari, you're enough. It's you. People are coming because of you. And when you first get in here, the insecurities of, I've got to bring this person in. I've got to bring this person that can drum, this person that can teach people to breathe. You start trying to get all the fluff in. And it gets overwhelming at that point. So one thing that was very helpful working with you and going to the forum is getting to understand my retreat personality. And being able to build from there.
I love that. Shannon here, cutting in. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, then you already know something about me. I do not believe retreats should just break even. And I definitely don't believe you should be pouring your heart, energy, time, and money into experiences that leave you exhausted and underpaid. That's exactly why I created the Retreat Leader Mastermind happening this August at my ranch in Austin. This is for retreat leaders who are done guessing, done underpricing, done trying to piece together random strategies from Instagram. At this mastermind, we will work on the real stuff: marketing, visibility, profitability, pricing, sales, AI and SEO, operations, scaling, and building a retreat business that actually supports your life. And if you've heard me say it over and over again, one of the biggest parts of growth is getting yourself in the right room. Because when you surround yourself with retreat leaders who are taking this seriously, your standards change fast. Now, if you know me, you also know I basically never discount my programs. Like, ever. But because you're a podcast listener, I wanted to do something special. You can get $250 off the Retreat Leader Mastermind with the code PODCAST. Again, that's code PODCAST for $250 off. You can grab the details at profitwithpurposemastermind.com or click the link in our notes. All right, let's get back to the episode. And although the forum was amazing, I don't know if we're going to schedule another one anytime soon, but I'm taking some of these same experts, and they're coming to my Retreat Leader Mastermind at my ranch in August. And that's going to be an annual thing that I'm going to do just at the ranch, because I really love creating that space, Shari, where you can learn from different people. It's not just my way or the highway. It's, look, this is another option, and this is another option. And here's some experts who will teach you this, and here's experts who will teach you this. But being in that space, we talked right before we started recording. You just got back from a speaker conference, and sometimes the content resonates, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the audience resonates, sometimes it doesn't. But you always walk away from an in-person experience learning something. And on piggyback on that, you also get motivation. To me, I get motivation even if I was like, that was terrible. It motivates me to not do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I am not going to run my XYZ the way that was just run. But usually you walk away going, oh my gosh, I just witnessed people who are doing the damn thing and are being super successful about it. And that energy is contagious versus being in our little home offices, stressing out about whether or not the retreat's going to fill, stressing out, feeling a little bit alone, feeling on this lonely island of like, is anybody else out here feeling the same things I'm feeling? And so being in that room, which is really why I created the Retreat Leader Mastermind. It's why I have the podcast. It's so people are not feeling alone. They're learning. They're hearing the success stories. They're hearing how they overcame the fear or the stress or whatever. So anyway, I'm glad that you loved it. I'm glad you came. And from that, you then booked the ranch for your retreat.
I did. So next year, too. So right now, I'm at 2 retreats per year.
Love it.
Currently, they're women-only 3-day retreats. I might grow into a different type as I grow, because this is all a growing experience, right? And things
100%.
change and careers change. And the most amazing thing, too, so my retreat, different people sign up for the retreat. It's not like one group that's coming at this point. And it was so magical. I had the youngest woman was in her 30s. The oldest woman was in her early 70s at my last retreat. Very, relatively small retreat. But them learning from each other. And none of these women knew each other before coming to my retreat.
Yeah.
The synergy that happens when you have that time together in that same space. And it just seems to always make sense who shows up and who's there and what they can learn from each other. And I think the woman who was in her 70s said it the best. She said, what drew her, she booked without even calling me or talking to me.
Love it.
She just knew. She knew about me, and so she trusted me in that way, and she just felt it. So she booked. Also, I got the notice. I'm like, wow, who is this? And she said she realized for her to stay relevant and involved in life in her early 70s, she needs to surround herself with people who have possibly differing opinions and new ideas. So she's putting herself in these places, and it wasn't her, she learned just as much as everyone else learned from her life experiences.
I love that. But that goes to show that if your messaging is right, when you are creating your retreat, when you're promoting your retreat, when you're marketing it, when you're selling it, if your messaging is right, you will draw in the right people that are supposed to be there. It's a magnetic thing, attraction thing, whatever you want to call it. You will draw on the right people. And so that, to me, people talk about what platforms and what this and what that. It's the number one thing you have to nail down first is your messaging. Who exactly you want to work with. And it doesn't have to be age-driven. It's like, what is their problem? How can you help fix it? That person. So, right? So you're attracting that person, and then nail the messaging down for that person. When you do that, all the other stuff will fall into place.
Yes.
It'll all fall into place.
Yes. But yeah. And I had you look at my website. I've gotten new advice for my next year's I'm going to implement.
Love it.
Including testimonial videos.
Yes.
I don't have there yet that I'll get from this next September retreat. So
I love it. And so you're going to be at the ranch next year. You're going to have 2 retreats. Let's talk about your retreats. Who are they for? So that way my audience, somebody might be listening going, I need to come to Shari's retreat.
Yes. Well, yes, please do. So it is women's only retreat, maximum 10 women. It may be more next year because you have a very spacious place. But right now it's a maximum of 10 women. And I talk about connection. So when I'm on the stage, I talk to a mixed gender, usually founders, entrepreneurs, leaders, community leaders, about creating human connection in their organizations. While so many places are investing in technology and everything that's moving, it's the companies, organizations that include investing in human connection, a culture of it that will stand out in the future.
Love it.
So my retreat is for women who are ready to get a deeper connection to themselves, their careers, and their community. And I say that in that order, and that's the order we go in. It's under a framework called FLIP, as in flip the box. If I could tell you really quickly what FLIP. Okay, so it's called FLIP because this all started in 2023. I traveled the U.S. I shared a meal with a stranger, a woman I didn't know, in every state. And I was having these organic conversations, sort of like we're having right now.
Yeah.
And I realized when I was writing the book about it that I kept saying, what feels like home? How do you create community? Tell me about family. And my backstory was I was orphaned and found in a cardboard box. I don't know my birth date. or any identifying information. So all my life, this box, pop up into rooms symbolically and say, you don't belong here. So I realized part of my travels and the way I was questioning was me searching for this piece of connection and belonging. And I found that speaking to these women, and I realized what happened was I symbolically took the box I was found in and flipped it and became a table for connection and belonging.
Oh my God, that is beautiful.
Yeah, and from there, a flip formula, and I won't go through it all with you, but it's a 4-step formula that helps people to connect with anyone in under 60 seconds, at least to establish the base of connection before you go deeper. And I found out that is something that I've been gifted at, is being able to connect and help people know how to connect. I always say first to themselves, because you can't feel connected in your career, in your job, unless you're connected to yourself, your career, and then community.
Well, I can tell it works because she used it on me, I'm sure, and we connected immediately, and I can feel it, especially when I met you in person in Denver. The other folks that you talk to, I can tell that they feel it as well. And I think this is so important as we go into this digital world, this almost nomad, AI-driven, fake bullshit world. The connection is going to be so important, the authentic, genuine connection. And it does start with yourself. And we're losing ourselves in this, make-believe stuff we're being surrounded by and we're being told we need to use and we need to have and we need to do. And so finding that connection to ourselves first, that will only make us that much more, if you will, successful in our careers, in our lives, but just finding that sense of joy and happiness and contentment that I think a lot of people, especially women, are missing right now.
Yeah, you can a lot of us have a good life, but if we don't feel connected, we're letting that good life stop us from a great life.
I love that so much. Well, I know you have a gift for the audience, so if you want to just tell them a little bit about it.
Sure. If you go to my website, I have a Flip app, and it'll describe more what Flip is, the 4 steps, but it's free, it's easy. And what I say, you try this out after a conversation, it just takes a couple minutes, and it tells you where you may be losing the connection. It could be focus, it could be listening, it could be going into control mode instead of igniting somebody's spirit, and it could be plain small. So with practice with this app, hopefully you'll be able to connect with anyone in under 60 seconds, or at least it'll help your connection when you walk into a room.
I love it. Well, that will be linked in the show notes, so please visit us on your favorite podcast app, in the show notes, YouTube. Everything will be linked there. Shari, thank you so much for being an incredible guest and just an incredible human.
Yes, and I know we will be talking again and soon and many times.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. If you love this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your retreat besties. Want more support? Grab free resources at theretreatleadersplaybook.com. Until next time, lead boldly, serve deeply, and retreat profitably.